Softron does broadcast solutions on the Mac since more than 30 years. So what's broadcast solution? Well, we did a lot of things. I'll cover a little bit of history and really like going in the past to show you where we come from and where we are getting today, because what we're introducing at this IBC is a new version of Movierecorder, which is our flagship recording application, Movierecorder 4, with a lot of new features, new user interface. But just to go until now, until we are today, we are coming from somewhere, and I'll explain you a little bit the background, but very quick. I won't go over too many things, but just to show you the first software we did in 1994, it was for a radio playout application. You see that the user interface, it's not like that we would do it today, but it was a good application for radio playout, card automation, and things like that. So that's one of the first software. Well, in fact, we did more before, because we are there since 35 years, as I said, but that was the first media software application that we built on the Mac. And another installation that we did in 2000, it was a TV automation, and as you see, still good old VTRs that we were controlling. So we built a software for automation to control those VTRs, play also some still image and so on and some videos from the MAV70, I think it's down there. It was a Sony device, and so that's one installation that we did. And then we came with playout application, which was simple to use and so on. That was in 2002. I will go now and show you the first version of Movierecorder. So that was Movierecorder 1. It was a software that was done, it was running at the time on Xserve, and it was SD. So we were happy to do one SD signal on the Mac. And we had nice installations still with that. For example, this installation was done in Sport 5 Paris in 2007, so it's a while ago. See those Xserve Reds. And we were recording, there were many channels. I think it was about 10 or 12 channels, don't remember exactly. But every time we had to have, for SD, one Xserve per channel. So you see the kind of installation that it was doing, but it has worked really, really well. Then we came a little bit later with Movierecorder 2. You see the interface goes a little bit better. We did proxy recording and so on, with some other installations, such as this one that was in Mexico, and did also still with Xserve and so on in 2009. Just the storage was different. I think it was active storage, I think. And then 2014, we came with Movierecorder 3. You see that over the time, when we started with Movierecorder 1, we were happy, as I said, to do one channel of SD. So the interface was really thought for just one channel. With Movierecorder 3, we had more powerful computers, and people wanted to do multiple channels. So we did a user interface that was thought already for multi-channel, that you could control all from one user interface, Movierecorder 3. So that was 3 years ago. Another setup that we did with deacast technology in Malaysia. It was a setup where they were recording multiple channels, and all the newsroom was editing, because the good thing is that you can edit while recording. So we were recording on shared storage, and the editors were editing on the fly. So Movierecorder is 10 years old, as you see, the first version. So yeah. So we hesitated. You know, there were some products that were called 10, so maybe come with Movierecorder 10. But no, we changed our mind. We just keep simple, and Movierecorder 4, that's the next version we have. But also 10th anniversary, so we are very happy with presenting it. It has been a lot of work to come with a very clean user interface, much cleaner, trying to bring workflow. What we try to do is that the user interface is really important for us, that anyone can come, use it in no time, and being very quick, because we know that's what our customers want. And you'll see in some of the features that we've done that's what we do. So that's Movierecorder 4. And a quick list of important features that we brought, but I'll do a quick demo to show you what we did. So it's a fully configurable user interface. We support NDI sources. So NDI, it's a video over IP protocol. So instead of connecting SDI and so on, you go over IP. That's that's pretty big right now. You've heard probably about video over IP workflows and how to do that. There are many things to come. NDI is just one of them. There are all the SMPTE 2022 and so on that we can be compatible on, but then it's using video cards as we do, because Movierecorder, it's a software running on a Mac using any video card on the market, such as AJ, Blackmagic, and so on. But really, NDI brings a lot of flexibility. Instead of having to connect a device to your Mac and then an SDI cable and to a router and so on, you can just come with a simple Ethernet cable, a gigabit, and then you have your signal going everywhere. The setup we are doing on our booth at IBC, it's 7G12, the booth, by the way. You can come and see that. It's a simple, we have 3 computers, just a simple Ethernet cable connected from one to the other, and we can see the sources and record them from all the computers. It's very flexible. Of course, it gets over IP, so you need to know a little bit more. It's not like a SDI cable. SDI cable are good because it's simple. It's a signal that you pull, and it works usually, and if your cable is correct. With network, you just need to know a little bit what you do. It's quite easy, but you cannot do everything. You can do an NDI distribution over a regular network with all your IP going on at the same time, because you'll use a lot of bandwidth of your network with the video. So it's dedicated network. So it's things to do, but really simple to use. The other thing is external audio that we have added, and that allows you to have another source of audio, because previously we were using only SDI embedded audio in the SDI. Now you can use any audio available on your Mac. So it's really flexible for Dante, for example. You can have Dante input. So for now, if you have an output from your mixer, you can get in any audio input on the Mac, and we can use that as an audio source. Effects and overlay, it's just that we added the ability to crop, resize, rotate, deinterlace, and also to add overlays, to add a text, timecode, and a still image if you want to do overlays. HEVC support, so just one thing there with the HEVC, it's working only in macOS 10.13, so High Sierra, that will be released pretty soon, because that's something that we used, we tried to use standard thing from Apple, and they come up with 10.13 with a way to encode in HEVC using the hardware acceleration of Mac that were released from 2016. These Mac have a hardware acceleration in HEVC, and then you can encode in real time HEVC, because otherwise, if you don't using the hardware acceleration, HEVC, you won't do that on a Mac, even the highest end, because it requires a lot of CPU. The other thing is save and restore configuration. I'll show that in the demo. It will ring mobile. And we are also coming with an Express version. So we are changing a little bit the way we are the different products in Movierecorder. Previously, Movierecorder 3, there was Movierecorder 3 with Pro Codecs option. We are getting rid of the Pro Codecs option and offer a Movierecorder 4 that has all the options, but we wanted to come also with a lighter version. So we're coming with Movierecorder Express that is more affordable, but doesn't have some of the pro features that maybe someone wants. And I'm thinking about metadata, for example. It's not supported in the Express version. The codecs, there are different codecs like XDCAM, XAVC, and so on, which are not used in some cases. So in the Express version, you can encode in ProRes and H.264 only. And there's no VTR control, but all the other things you can still record in NDI, multiple channels, and so on. So it's really good. On the website, if you want to go and have a look, we have a list of the different features of each version. But really, the idea was to bring something even more affordable than what Movierecorder 3 was. OK, so a quick overview of Movierecorder. I started just one channel. Pretty clean, no? It's difficult to do cleaner than that, I think. So you have your input, and if I go there, I can just start recording with the overlays. But that's just one channel, and of course I'll show a little bit more because there's more to that. The good thing, I was talking about the configurable user interface, is that now you can select the number of viewers that you will have. So let's go with 8. And then for for that, you will have the ability to select the layout that you want. See? So depending on what's important, you can choose to have that layout over there or the other one. So it's pretty easy. You could just click on it, and we'll zoom out. And you see I've got the different layouts coming. We have done some ourselves, but it's configurable also. Users can change if they want to do some weird layout, and it's totally customizable. So that's quite nice. And also you can select whether you want to have the overlays. For example, I disabled to make it, as I said, a little cleaner. You can disable all the overlays or show them all the time if you want to have your timecode displays and so on. So that's for the configurable user interface. A few things that we've added, quite important in some workflows, is you see here, for those who know, maybe I'll explain a little bit for those who doesn't know, but the idea with Movierecorder is that you have on the left-hand side here, the important part is the sources. So these are the available sources. I've got the local sources, so that are the source on the Mac. So if you have a Blackmagic AJ device connected, and NDI sources. I just explained what was NDI. And remote control is if you have another computer with Movierecorder installed running, you can control it remotely. So we have, and if you have a look over here, we have customers that have up to 49, I think that's the max. But it could be more. It just depends what can fit in one window. The size of your screen, that's really quite the limit. But it's possible to control many channels from one computer. So you have the sources there, and then the destinations. These destinations you can create as many destinations as you want, as the previous version, and just set the settings with where you want to record to, and also select the codec that you want to use. Okay? But the thing is, before, if you wanted on all your channels, if you wanted to change, for example, now we are using the QuickTime one, the QuickTime destination, and if you wanted to change to MXF, you had to disable it, and like that, and then go to the other. So it's okay, it's quite easy, but it can be tedious, and you need to make sure that you've done it all. So what we've done to make it easier is we can now, from there, enable on all sources, disable on all sources, or solo on all sources. So it's small things. As I said, we try to do things easier, but it's really making life easier for some of our users. And then I was talking in the version before about the save and restore configuration. So the idea here is that we know that customers, we have some, for example, it's really big if you have a truck. They have a truck, and they do, every Monday, they do one sport, like football, and every Thursday they will do boxing. And it will be every Thursday and Monday the same thing, but two different configurations, with cameras that have different names, with recording to different folders, with using different codecs or whatever. So previously, again, they had to change everything, change the destination, the way the camera was named. So it could take time and prone to possible errors. So we have done the ability to save a configuration and then restore it. So here you can store any configuration, and you'll see here, you got a menu that tells you what you want to restore. So you'll restore only the sources, the destinations, the audio video presets, so you can really select what you want to restore, and you can come back with the same setup as you had before. I think it's coming with very nice features, all the features that I listed. We can send a beta version if that are available for testing. So people that are interested should send us an email and contact us at sales@softron.tv, and then we can put you on the beta program. It will be released in beginning of October. And so it's pretty finished, but it's important that we still have some beta testers. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you the effects and overlay just very quickly. Here, if you go in the AV presets, you see here, you just set how you want to crop the video, the interlace, rotate. And the good thing with the cropping and resolution is that, of course, it's important if you're cropping, and especially for some codecs like XDCAM, it can only be HD, it has to be the resolution. So if you crop it, you will lose the resolution. So you can just crop and then resize it afterwards to match to 1920, so you just select it and said, okay, that's my HD output. And then text overlay, you say we want to overlay it on top, at the bottom, and small size and so on, and time code. You can overlay time code, the source name. Let's do a quick one, and ProRes and crop it like that. Up. Here you go, and add maybe an image overlay. But that's very easy to do. We tried, for example, in the text overlay again, to make something simple. We could add a lot of choices and things like that, but we try to limit the number of things so it keeps on being usable and easy to use. We try to fit, most users, and also we try to listen to customers. So if you are testing and you would see, oh, that kind of information overlaid would be important for me, we try to listen, and for those who knows, we try to listen and bring some little additions also to the software if it makes sense and so on. So that's for the overlay, and for the audio also, basically you see it here, and you can change the source of audio over there. So that's for Movierecorder. So again, a software to do Edit-While-Ingest on the Mac. You can start recording, import your files in Final Cut Pro 10, and start editing on the fly. And just the last thing that I wanted to show is this. That's a setup that has been done at VGTV in Norway. It's 2 weeks ago, I think. And just to show, they were using Final Cut Pro 10 to do a workflow, broadcast workflow for the election. And also, you can see over there, that's our playout application. They were using, as well as our CG, that they were using to do those kind of graphics. So it's all automated, that took data and sent that to our CG. So with our playout application, you can really have complex broadcast workflows. We try to really answer a lot of different needs, and this is a good, this is really showing what you can do also on the playout side, because we don't have only Movierecorder to record. And I think Christian will come later today to explain some workflows in Final Cut Pro 10. He will not show the playout application, but how he's using Final Cut Pro 10 in his workflow. So I think it's pretty interesting. So yeah, we are very happy to be showing that new Movierecorder 4 and to see all the movement in a pro application. We really think that the Mac is the best platform for broadcast operation, and we've seen that, you've seen since many years. Things have evolved. It's not the same thing as it used to be, but it continues to be really, we are really happy with what we can do. So I hope you will be by testing the application, so don't hesitate again to contact us, and thank you.